Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let Me Just Say This. Your girl is back on the mic with you. If you're watching the visual, hello, hi, welcome to the living room. If you're not, go over to the YouTube channel. We got the visuals up there. Today is actually going to be a quick but I think insightful episode because I had a little bit of an epiphany when it comes to my love life. And I know I talk about love and relationships a lot, but I think that might be my niche. I don't know. You tell me. Um, but I had a little bit of a thing. And so I decided I wanted to talk about it. So I got my notes because when it comes to stuff like this, my mind is like scatterbrained. And I really want to be clear about what I want to say and how I want to convey these feelings. So honestly, in this episode is as much therapeutic for me as I hope it is for somebody else who might be in any type of similar situation. So let's just go ahead and get right on into it. Oh my gosh, I think I'm going to title this episode The Woes of a Lover Girl because I hate it. Like sometimes I wish I could detach. Like and I'm a Sagittarius. Like I'm the queen of detachment in terms of when I'm ready to cut somebody off. But if I'm not ready, sometimes it's really hard for me to let go. And I think also if I'm able to let go easier, most of the time it's like a defense mechanism. Most of the time I'm like pushing someone away before I feel like they can hurt me. So when it comes to dating, I'm very, very, especially now, very protective over my heart and my vulnerabilities and my emotions. I don't tend to express those things outright anymore. And I know that sounds crazy because I come on here and express everything, right? But when I'm dealing with someone in that sense, like the intimacy of it all, sometimes I learn to just reel it in because I don't want to be hurt, I guess. And so as a lover girl, there are certain situations I can't be in, and I'm learning that it's just not meant for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want things out of my relationship. I want growth. I want future. So I found myself dealing with people who don't necessarily want those same things. That's not to say that they're bad people. It's just to say that we're not in the same space. We're not in the same vibe. And as easy as it would be to just continue on and just keep dealing with that person and keeping them around, it's easier up front, but harder on the back end when shit doesn't work out the way you want it to. It hurts more if you just keep going. I'm like, okay, well, I can either stop it now at this point where I know I'm getting invested, when I know that the lover girl in me is clawing her way up out of here, and I don't want to be in a situation where I end up hurt. So I'm like, okay, I have to save myself now. And it's not that I want to lose this person, it's just that I got to save myself. I got to save my emotions. How many of us have been in situations where we held on to somebody who, in the back of our minds, we knew it couldn't work? Like we knew for whatever factors, it was never going to work out the way we wanted it to. And definitely not on our timing, but we kept them around anyway. We strung ourselves along. Not to mention how that person might be stringing us along, but we know what's up too. So we're stringing ourselves along, and then when shit goes awry or something happens and the bubble bursts, it's I think for a lot of people devastating. Cuz I think a lot of people are in like situationships or relationships that were never official, or were dealing with someone and they thought it could be cash or thought it could be just kicking it, and then they evolved into more, and now you're in this gray area and you just continue that until shit just hits the fucking fan. And now it's like, damn, do I even have a right to be upset? Do I have a right to be sad? This person was never mine. There was never titles. There was never this. There was never that. And you just caught up in this place of confusion that I absolutely hate. Because for me personally, when it comes to dating, I thrive off of transparency. I thrive off of honesty, and I thrive off of knowing where things are going to go. And I think this is partially, a bit, not my downfall, but it's like I won't ever invest for real, or I cannot make the step to invest with someone unless I know for a fact that it's gonna be something. And so when I found myself kind of catching more feelings, I was like, okay, hold up. I need to reel it the fuck in. Like, I have to reel it in. I have to decide, okay, am I gonna be okay with just this? Like, this is all I'm gonna ever get from this person. Or am I going to move on and try to find more? I think a lot of people are scared to look for more out of love. I think a lot of people are afraid to let something go out of the fear that they're not going to find what they want. But my God, today, honey, listen, next 15-1 coming. Next 15-1 coming. And I hope it's the one that's meant for you. But at the end of the day, love is about trial and error. I'm learning that even more. It's not a fairy tale. It's not the Little Mermaid, baby. That's not what this is. It's actually a bunch of ebbs and flows, a bunch of mistakes, and a bunch of happy moments, and figuring it out as you go. Because that's all, we're all doing that. And I think everyone is searching for love or searching for a companion in some way. We're all trying to figure it out. Even the people who are in relationships and happy. So the idea that, things aren't going to go your way, you have to get over that shit so that you're able to open yourself up to more. I had spoken to my friend the other day and I was like, I don't know if I should keep on this route or not with this person. And they told me basically, keep them around if there's no issues, unless you feel like they're blocking something, unless you feel like they're blocking a blessing for you. And I was like, I'm a believer that when you are dealing with someone that really you have no business dealing with, you shouldn't be dealing with, inherently it's going to block the right person from finding you. I think it's going to block your mindset, especially if you're a lover girl. If you are a lover girl like me and a Sagittarius, shout out to the Sagittarius. Listen, if you are like me, even in the times where you know somebody not yours, you still end up closing the door on a bunch of other people. Because they might not have that thing. They might not have that it factor. They might not have that fire and desire. They might not be able to keep your attention. And so when you got this one person who's giving you what you want, you're very likely to just focus on that person. And, maybe it's akin to putting all your eggs in one basket. But then again, I've always been open, even with, dealing with who I was in with. I was always like, if the right person comes along, I'm jumping ship immediately. But my other friend, she was like, yeah, you think that, but then you realize who you are. You're a lover girl. And so I have to reframe like, okay, I know what situations I can't be in no more. Like, I can't be your friend with benefits, little daddy. I can't be the one you just kick it with. Unless it's just that. Like, that's the thing. Once actions start to mimic situationships, once actions start to mimic more than just kicking it, now you lost me. Because now you're confusing me. And my heart is going to start going, like, no, I need clear and concise. Clear. Like, that's it. No cuddling. If we not on that level, no cuddling. Once we start getting the cuddling and all the other shit, boy, you're playing with fire. You're playing with fire here. So, I'm like, okay, I can't put myself in those situations. And y'all know I wanted to find my man this year. I still do. I'm not hoeing this summer. I'm healing this summer. I don't know about you. Let me just say this. I am healing this summer. No more hoeing. We're healing. We're getting better. Because come the end of the year, I need to have my man. I want my man. So I need to heal. And I need to be focused and move with my intentions. I had all these intentions for this year. And it's so hard to stay like committed to them. Oh my gosh. But I'm like, yo, my intentions were for myself. What I wanted out of love were clear. I lost them for a little bit. The dick will do it to you sometimes. But I'm trying to get that back. Cause I still feel the same way. Like I still feel like I want it. I know it's out there, but a part of that means like removing myself from situations that I know just aren't, they're not beneficial. So that really brings me to this other topic, which is, dealing with someone that is a distraction versus an asset. Um, I have so much going on, right? I found myself distracted so much, so often. And I'm like, damn. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, yo, is this person an asset to me or is it a distraction? You know, sometimes people aren't necessarily in your life because they're meant to give you anything more. They're meant to teach you something. And I think those people are often the distractions. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, if that person, I would consider a person an asset if having them around means that you're progressing. If having them around means that you are, moving forward versus staying in a place because you're not dealing with the things that you're supposed to be dealing with because instead your focus is on them, then at that point that person's a distraction. Versus if they are an asset, if you are able to find an asset in a partner or someone you're dating, then I think that person's going to push you to be better. That person's going to ensure that you stay on your shit. They want to see you progress, you know? It's not like a thing of they'll allow you to put things on the back burner that y'all both know are important in order for the comfortability of you both. It'll be more so like, yo, we on a mission. This is what we're doing. This is how we're going to move. And I think that's just the type of person that I would like for myself. That's kind of hard to find too. It's kind of hard to find. So I had actually seen a post on Instagram that was like, um, trying to date someone who is kind is harder than I thought it would be. And I kind of resonated with that. And I think a lot of people will. Like, how many people are really out here dealing with people who genuinely aren't kind to them? And think about kindness. It's not just like people saying nice things to you, it's how people show up for you. And so a lot of people, at least from what I've seen, have been in situations romantically with people who don't treat them well, who aren't nice to them. And I found myself being prepared for someone to say something mean to me. Like when I voice how I feel about things to a guy sometimes, I'm prepared to hear them say something back to me that is mean. Like I'm prepared for them to do something that is kind of hurtful. And I think that's so sad. But it's I mean, it's real shit. Like when you've been through situations where people do things that are kind of hurtful or say things that are kind of hurtful, you're kind of conditioned to be prepared for those type of responses. And I think so many people are trying to find someone who is nice, are trying to find someone who's on the same page as them. And it's so much harder than you think. But, the other day I was like, something's got to give. If I know what I want and what I need doesn't align with what I can get from this person, then I shouldn't even be expecting it from them, you know? If I know that I want something more and they aren't able to give it, why am I asking for that from them? And so I was like, I was listening to this song. I can't remember what it is, but I'll link it. And it was like, am I asking for too much or am I asking the wrong motherfucker? Like, am I asking for too much or am I asking the wrong person? And I was like, actually, I put that reel up on my Instagram on the podcast page, which go follow that. But I was like, actually, I'm asking the wrong person. Especially when people are going to tell you exactly what they want and what they don't want and who they are. Like they'll show you. So you can make a decision about if you're going to continue, if you're going to ignore it, if you're going to think you can change it, if you think you're an exception to whatever. All that shit is giving Delulu at the end of the day. But sometimes I thrive in delusion. Sometimes I love being delusional. Like sometimes ignorance really is bliss because it's easier than being realistic about where you stand with somebody. It's easier than being realistic about what you should actually be doing. And so I know I was actively making a bad decision dealing with this man, but the timing of it all happened to happen at a time where I thought I could be one way. And I was trying to like, I don't know. Maybe I was trying to get over something. I don't know. On the timing tip, actually, I had a conversation with my best friend, and I think I had expressed to her, I was like, if things were different, the circumstances and the timing or whatever were different, I think me and this person could actually be really good. And she said to me, it's not that the timing is wrong, it's just the person is wrong. Like you can't change timing. And you think, okay, maybe later on down the line, X, Y, and Z, you cannot project. You don't know. It's not about the timing. What is it at that moment? What is it at that moment? Maybe, okay, I'll see you next lifetime. But right now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what things could be. It doesn't matter what your imagination or what, your idolization of a person could melt or could say why did I say melt? Could become. It's about what the reality is. And so a lot of us end up falling for or getting wrapped up in the potential of what could be. You got to let that shit go. And when I say you, really, I be talking to myself. Like, but I'm learning so much that I know, like I said, now, like, yo, I know I'm a lover girl. I know this is how I move, this is how I operate. I got to cut shit off before I put myself in a bad situation. And early on, I feel like I managed my expectations very well. But like I said, when things got blurry, I was like, okay, I don't know what to do now. Like, literally, that's how I felt. And so, you know, I'm trying to decide what I want moving forward, how to move forward. I think a lot of times when it comes to love and dating, we are afraid to be alone. So we hold on to situations and people and things that really don't serve us and really aren't, beneficial. Um, because we don't want to be by ourselves. I think that's completely normal. There's nothing wrong with being afraid of loneliness. But I think you have to have a sense of like self-awareness to understand that, okay, I might be lonely now, but choosing to be lonely versus being hurt or versus putting yourself in a situation with somebody who really doesn't deserve you, girl, be lonely. Be lonely. It's better. You're better off. Like when you realize you are better off without someone, especially if that person is not an asset or that person isn't able to give you what you know you want, be lonely. Be alone. It's fine. You won't be alone forever. You're not going to be lonely forever. It's not the end of the world. But, if you keep yourself around someone who isn't meant for you out of fear that you won't find anything or fear you're going to be lonely, you'll be there forever, chasing nothing, going in a circle, just going in a fucking circle. And for what? You're holding yourself back. You're holding yourself back. That's how I truly see it. I'm like, all right, well, being decisive in love is hard. Being decisive in dating is hard. You might really like someone, or you might really enjoy the time that you have with someone. It's fun, it's whatever. But okay, you know that this person serves these two purposes, but you need all four. They can't give you the other two. You know it. Okay, now you have to make a decision. Are you going to keep going or are you going to stop? Are you going to reframe? and try to find someone who can give you what you need and what you want. It can't be like a toss up in the fucking air. Like, I hope that this person one day can give me what I need, or I hope that if I prove myself, how many of us want to fucking prove ourselves to somebody? Like, in the hopes that it'll pay off in the end, or they'll return the favor on the back end. It's not, a lot of times I don't think it works that way. I don't think it ever works that way. It's taken a lot for me to get to this point. And I think of myself as a very introspective person. And I'm still learning. I'm still making mistakes when it comes to guys. I'm still making mistakes when it comes to love. But I gotta remind myself, yo, I'm only 24. Like, I'll be 25 this year. I'm actually not that experienced with relationships. And so I have to give myself a little bit of grace, but not allow myself to fall back into the same patterns of bullshit. Like, I need to evolve. Like, we gotta be evolving. If you know there's situations that you don't want to find yourself in anymore when it comes to relationships and love, you need to be healing and evolving. You need to be setting boundaries for what you're not gonna deal with anymore. And be clear and be upfront about it. So that way you're not in a cycle. Some people are like in their 60s and 70s in cycles. Like, literally cycles of dealing with people. Serial monogamist or serial cheaters, like, literally, and just never broke out of that shit because they just were never able to evolve. That's not what I want for the girls. That's not what I want for myself. Like, especially if I know I want to find my forever man, I want to find my person, my soulmate, my life partner, I got to be evolving. So, my advice to anybody who is finding themselves stepping or walking into a little situationship or a situation that they know in the end is only going to hurt them, make a decision. Stop pussyfooting around. Make a decision. And at the end of the day, listen to your intuition. Let your intuition guide you. Your spirit is not going to lie to you. Everything can be copacetic, but the moment my intuition tells me something in the water ain't right, I gotta go. The moment my intuition tells me this person is no longer right for me, I have to go. I have to go. Because that feeling is only going to get stronger and stronger and stronger the more you ignore it. All of us be out here looking for a sign. If God is giving you the sign that that person ain't meant for you, you need to listen. You need to listen. If God is telling you, yo, this ain't the one, hey, listen. You can't be like, God, please make him the one because he the one. No, that's it. That's it. You got to call it. You got to call it. And I always say, your intuition is not going to lie to you. People will lie to you. People will feed you or give you whatever, especially if they're getting what they want from you. Why would they fuck up a good situation for them? Right? So don't allow yourself to fall victim to that shit. Don't allow yourself to fall into a hole that you can't fucking get out of, because and really and truly you helped dig the hole because you knew where it was gonna go. You knew what was happening and you weren't listening to yourself. So trust yourself. Trust your intuition when it comes to the people that you're around, especially the people that you're intimate with. That's a big deal. That's a big thing. The people that you are the most intimate with, trust your intuition. It's okay to stand up and walk away from something that in the end is not going to benefit you. So, of course, y'all know I'm gonna keep y'all updated as I grow and learn and, figure shit out, especially my love life. I really do think that's a little bit of my niche. I love talking about these things because I'm just a lover girl. But yeah, I really hope this episode was kind of helpful or insightful for someone. It really helped me to get it off because it's as much therapeutic for me as it is for, I hope, someone who is out there listening. So thank you guys so much for supporting. Thank you so much for listening, and I will get with y'all on the flip side. Until next time.